Good evening, one and all. Welcome to another episode of Caribbean Feedback. My name is Curtis Henry. I will be your moderator this evening. I'm getting some feedback on feedback. That's good. Everything cleared up. How y'all doing this evening?
Doing well. How are you?
I am too blessed to be stressed. I'm good. Mr. Archer, how are you today?
I am 5 blessed, my brother. 5 blessed.
5x.
Yeah.
Well, I do not believe our esteemed guest, Mr. Mark Chase, will be joining us this evening. So I do apologize on his behalf for anyone tuning in expecting to hear that baritone voice, that presence that Mr. Chase so kindly lends to the show on a weekly basis. He will not be here this evening. So you all will just have to put up with Sam and myself. I'm getting some feedback. Good night, Lucy O'Brien. How
you doing? By Sam and yourself. That's bright. What me there?
You have a baritone voice?
No.
All right, then. Sit down on the side and settle yourself. It's the man thing going on here. All right? Just calm down. You better hope Judith come on. Otherwise, it's trouble for you this evening.
Not struggle. I hold my own. You don't worry about
I ain't say struggle. I say it's trouble for you this evening.
It's trouble.
Mercy.
Trouble. You have 2 men to deal with. So hope Judith join you and she can bail you out of some situations. Good night, Lucy O'Brien. How you doing there? How is the weather? How is the vibe? How is the situation down there on that beautiful sunny island that I'm missing? Talk to us in the chat, Lucy. Let me know how things are going back home. How things are going in your village. Everything stopped. When I stop talking, I hear, okay, it's my echo I'm hearing coming back at me. That's what it is.
You probably have to do a little adjustment.
Adjust the adjustment.
Adjust the adjustment, yes.
Wow. Yeah, I know this is when I speak, I'm hearing that echo coming back at me. Nevertheless, we are going to go right into the show. No waste of time here on Caribbean Feedback. So, Mr. Archer.
Yes, sir.
What you do best? Run the thing.
What I do best? Oh, run the thing. Okay, yes. We're gonna run the thing right now. We're running.
My name is Karin Forrester. I represent BantuKreations. BantuKreations offers beautifully made, African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind earrings in wonderful shapes, shades, sizes, and colors. Please don't be scared of the large sizes. They're extremely lightweight earrings. BantuKreations can be found on IG and on Facebook as BantuKreations. That's BantuKreations with a K.
Check me out, chriskeys.com. I'm worldwide.
Tony Altamirano.
Hi, I'm Gina.
What's up, everybody? I'm Win Vu, award-winning remixer.
Koya, I'm an artist.
Hi, my name's Justina Bethel.
Hi, I'm Mike Bowen from Denton, Texas.
How you doing? This is Tom Cutt from Music by Tom Cutt. Check out Samuel E. Archer's book, Hybrid Executive. We are in the business, and here's how you can be a better business person because you're running your business.
You can find my music at JustinaBeth_EL on Instagram or JustinaBethel.com, and I am a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive, just like you.
Follow me at Koya Music, and I'm also a hybrid executive.
I'm worldwide, baby, but just know I'm a hybrid executive. That's all you need to know, baby.
Get on up, B.
Check out my music, MikeBowen.com. I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
Yes. And we are back. So Lucy said it's raining cats and dogs these days. For those of you who don't really understand that, it's not really cats and dogs falling from the sky, but
Really?
it's just a lot of rain.
Seriously.
Sometimes Jamaicans have different sayings, you know.
Jamaicans.
So I don't know. Maybe when you all say cats and dog, maybe dog and puss probably falling out of the sky. I don't know. So when we say cats and dogs, I was just trying to explain to you as a non-Trinidadian, what is it we're speaking about?
Explain to anyone that cats and dogs
when we say
from the sky.
Okay, look, she talking there. She felt bad.
Hi, Lucy.
You see how she brighten up? We want to encourage folks the like button, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, please subscribe. We're on Facebook and YouTube, and you know, there's some people who say you would like to change. There's some people who say you like to change, Mr. Henry.
Who that I would like to change?
Yeah, people you would like.
No, sir, no. I've made that mistake in my life trying to change people. Speak about the devil, they show up. But no, I've made that mistake trying to change people. That will not work. That will never work.
That one hand, shake it.
Some people just too stubborn and stuck in their ways. They can and will never change, not even for their own benefit. They will not do it. They will never do it.
I make me see the smile, man. Not take it out because I see.
Good night, Dr. Judith.
Good night.
Blow skirts, pants, shirt.
How are you doing there?
I'm very illuminated and excited.
Okay, let me see if this works. Let me see if this works. Hi, darling.
There has to be a certain tonality, right?
I know it works. It works when Sam says it. I was just trying.
No, it worked with you. No, it worked.
No, you don't make Sam feel special.
Listen, everybody is special in their own way, in their own time. And it depends on how wonderful I feel that makes me think that you're very special, okay?
That's right.
I just graduated tonight from the Board of Commissioners of Rockdale County.
Yay, congratulations.
Academy, Government Academy.
Okay, before I start clap, you say what exactly does this mean when you say you graduate? Graduate from what? I don't know.
It's an academy started by the county that I live in. It's an academy for citizens academy. And so they choose 20 people a year to enter this program. And you go through all the rigors of each level of government and the court system and all of these things you're acquainted with and whatever. And I started it and I finished it and I want to go to my bed now.
So you're not part of the elite?
I said, who?
Are you now part of the elite of your
let
country?
me tell you a funny thing. One of the ladies said to me, there are a lot of government officials, a lot of women, mostly our color. And at the end of the graduation tonight, this lady said to me, somebody asked me if you're a Delta. You know, I was going to say to her, I have flown Delta, but I'm not a Delta.
I think you may not be a Delta.
I'm the least interested in those kind of things.
You might be a spirit, not a Delta.
Thanks, Lucy O'Brien.
So
guys,
tonight
I came on to say hello, and I love you all, but I gotta go.
No. Okay, tonight we want to talk about the company you keep. I want to say the company, Sam, I don't mean Muzilog Magazine. Karin, I don't mean BantuKreations.com. We're not talking about Excel Media Enterprise when I talk about the company you keep. I'm talking about these people we have surrounding us. Some of the children go to school and they come home talking about my friend and my friend. Hold on, no. That is your classmate.
Thank you.
That is your classmate.
Thank you very much.
Be very careful. My grandmother used to say, friends will carry you, but they won't bring you back. And she drilled this in our heads. I was about 6-7 years old. I've been hearing this. Friends will carry you, but they won't bring you back. And we had to make sense out of what she was saying. What type of people do you associate with and refer to them as friends? Way too many times that word is often misused. We meet a total stranger today, find that we share some of the same interests, we share a few stories, spend some time socializing with them, and without realizing it, we somehow begin to refer to them as a friend.
Not I.
A very good friend of mine, the Oxford Dictionary, defines the word friend as a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. Throughout the course of our lives, we meet and interact with several individuals or groups of individuals that we refer to as friends, but let us not forget Oxford definition.
Denise.
A person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection. Tell me, people, how long do you think an individual with an impressionable mind, like a teenager, how long can they associate with, hang out, have a bond of mutual affection and not be influenced by a liar, a thief, someone who smokes or consumes alcohol? Trust me when I tell you that you keeping bad company will eventually corrupt your character. How long can one survive before they become a product of the environment? Maya Angelou said it best. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You cannot hang around with someone who's always romanticizing the idea of going into a store and stealing something or robbing the place and somehow think that it won't eventually affect you. You may not necessarily turn out to be a thief, but they may choose to live out this fantasy while they're in your company. Next thing, they're running and you start running too, and just like that, you become an accessory or end up being shot because of the company you keep. Within the Orthodox Jewish faith, a divorced woman is no longer welcome within the same circles that she socialized in as a married woman. When I first heard this, I said, that's just plain stupid. But check this. She now has the potential to spread her poison into the minds of her married friends. How you ask? Let me explain. This. Hear this. Girl, I couldn't wait to get out of that marriage. You have absolutely no idea how happy I am now. I don't have to cook. I don't have to listen to anybody telling me what to do. I could come and go as I please. I could talk to whomever I want. I don't have to put up with those children all the time. And here's the icing on the cake, people. I got a new boyfriend. And tell me how long before her toxicity begins to seep into the minds of her married friends. Before long, they too will be sitting before a judge, signing divorce papers. Watch the company you keep. Watch how you're being influenced by them. Panelists, have any of you ever been affected by someone's toxic language?
Of course. Let's say that location is key where company is concerned. And even though I was not shouting those words out, what ended up happening was because I was in close proximity, I was considered part of the crew. And then news will carry back to your parents. I see him hanging out with these fellas over here, and these fellas have problems. And then that would lead to having warm sensations on where you sit. Needless to say.
It took a while, but I catch it.
You could have a future in politics. That's true. You're so careful with your words, man. Damn. There are people that you enter a room, whether it's co-workers or certain family members with whom you don't allow yourself too much exposure. You walk into the room and it's like there's no air in the room. You just know that there was nothing positive being said before you entered, and that energy is palpable, you know. And if it's coworkers, I distance myself. If it's family, I distance myself. I have no problem doing that at all. Immediately, can't breathe in that type of space. So, yeah. But I some people stick through it and try to maneuver. I don't. I exit whatever the space is.
I think the other thing too is that we're all at that, you know, at certain ages you're impressionable, your formative years. You have to learn as you go. So you might feel a certain way but not understand why. And you know, and as you get older and as you socialize, now you can actually start carving out a little thing. Oh yeah, well I don't really mix over here. I mix here, you know. But what have you? You got to figure it out as you know. You learn, and you grow from it. Now I do have friends that and which is a really short, very short list. I may not see them for 2, 3, 4 years. Have no conversation, nothing. And when we meet, it's like we're picking up from where we left off. You know, those are friends. Now, company, of course, is a different kind of thing. But sometimes there's a thin line between the friend and the company. You know, it could sort of work with you or it could mess with you, because if one of the friends and them not really handling this thing right, then it can affect you being in a certain, you know, circuit. So it's a learning experience as you go.
But what do you use to differentiate though for someone to end up in that exclusive category, that zone that's called friendship zone? Is it a matter of time spent with an individual? Is it a matter of an individual proving themselves to be something other than? What is it for you?
There's a time factor to it. There's a time factor to it because you know, I think what Karin was talking about is that like a gut instinct. Sometimes you have this gut instinct where a flag will go on in terms of, okay, there's a positive flag or it's a negative flag. So if you hang around this person and it's like a now thing, and you know those little red flags keep going, there's a good chance that your gut is saying something to you. But you have those that in their walk, their talk, their daily thing, you know, you could sort of like, you know, this is a cool person, and you kind of form a little bond. Actually, you bond without even realizing that you're bonding with this person, and but you have a friendship, and you know, go ahead, Karin.
No, it's quality and time for me. I had someone about 2 years ago that I thought we vibed so beautifully. We just flowed. Very open person, but then I started to pick up on. I'm a very good judge of character, and sometimes I give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm a little sensitive. I'm a Pisces. I pick up all these sensations all the time from people. But when I realized, no, Pisces feel everything. We feel everything in a space. Everything.
You feel the current.
Good and bad. But I was trying to convince myself that it was just me. Like, I'm just a little sensitive, so let me, you know, give the benefit of the doubt. But then I realized that she was willing to discuss all the details of a past friendship, bad things within the about that person. My feeling on friendship is whatever we confided in each other, or you confided in me, stays in confidence, regardless of if, you know, the friendship comes to an end. I don't just like off at the mouth to anybody about what happened to you 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I can't do that, and I don't respect anyone who does it. Straight up, I really don't. And I heard that person go through an epistle of things about someone who was her best friend for quite some time, and I thought, you're going to do this to me. We can't.
Dr. Judith?
We can't go on.
Dr. Judith, toxicity in quote unquote friends. toxic conversations. How do you handle that?
I, at this very circumspect moment, feel that friendship is a blouse and skirt problems, a waste of energy.
Stop it.
It is a pain.
No.
I've gone to the place where I feel that it's not having friends. I do no longer have to worry about sending birthday cards and stuff.
Lord.
It's too much work.
No.
It takes too much energy. I don't want anybody to fertilate themselves with me anymore.
Fertilate the backside. No, stop it, man.
Enough is enough.
No. Real friendship.
Listen.
I was just going to say that, Karen. People who are a friend, they don't have to get a card from you for birthday. And
you.
You chose to do that work. It depends on your definition of friendship.
Absolutely does.
Okay. Let me say this. Karen just said something, and I'm very fertilated by this. Karen just said something about, she said, if you were friends and you talk, let me tell you something about talking about people. What I don't like with people, I don't have a problem with anybody talking about me. Just don't lie on me. And I know people will tell me, oh, I love you, and they talk about me like a dog. No, let me change that. They lie on me. I don't have a problem with you talking about me as long as you're speaking the truth. And I grew up with a very different attitude about people. And I hear people, oh, that's my friend you're talking about. I don't think I know that many people who I love hard. I love people hard. Sorry.
She loves hard. Okay, not soft.
No, seriously. I love people hard. I take people seriously. That's why this gentleman has been around so long. You understand? I take people seriously.
The one down there? That one down there?
That one down there, sir.
Okay.
One of our glasses, I'm trying to make him look like he has sense. But it does not mean that I will never say anything negative about him. That to me is irrational. Because the people that you love have negatives in them. And there are times that you will be irritated or hurt or whatever, that you'll say something. For me, it doesn't mean that I no longer love the person or care about them, respect them. It means that at that point, they irritated the crap out of me. And I'm human. I'll say, boy, Curtis is a pain in the whatever, or Sheila or whatever. And what I find is that people say, oh, I can't say that, you can't say that about your friend. Friendship does not mean that you deny the negative truth about people. It is a misconception. It's a fallacy. It's a joke.
There's a difference between saying something about your friend and disclosing private matters.
That's a different story. That's a different story. Okay. No, I don't believe in that. Okay. I don't believe in that. I mean, no, that I don't believe in at all. Let me tell you something. People tell me things that I've often said, especially the last few years. I could start World War III, 4, and 5 by saying the things that I know or people have told me about themselves and other people. If I were a careless, uncaring person, I'd just blurt out anything. That I agree. Just to talk people's secrets. No, that's inexcusable.
Let me talk for a minute about the gossipers. Those people who always ready to tell you some juicy secret they heard about something or about somebody. Whenever somebody come to me and say, yo, such and such say such and such, they come and they tell me such and such about you. I'm looking now and I'm scratching my head and I say, why did they feel so comfortable telling you?
All right.
I may not say it, but that's the first thing that goes through my head. What is it about you that they felt comfortable enough to come and tell you?
Right.
Maybe it's something else that they know about you, that you participate in this same type of behavior, and you all are two kins. It was a sort of kinship. That they know that you are a person that would, like a sponge, you would absorb that kind of information because you love to hear it. And if you love to hear it, there's a chance that you also love to spread it.
Right.
So the very same token that they came and they told you, and you couldn't wait to come tell me, I'm asking myself, who else did you tell before you tell me? And who else are you going to tell after you tell me this secret about me? So I really don't want to hear about it. What somebody said about me, I don't care. That's none of my business.
There is a teacher that I work with. I no longer say she's a child of the devil. I believe she's the devil himself. I think the devil reports to her. One of the most vicious human beings I've ever known in my life. And this woman gossips about anything and everything and anybody and everybody. There's a website where you can go and hear about events that happen among teachers and administrators, I guess, all this stuff. And so, you know what she says? Oh, guys, if you really want to hear some stuff, get yourself some popcorn and tune into that website so you can hear the stuff that's going on. I have never gone to the website. This is about 2 years now. She's been advertising. If you get some popcorn, the popcorn part is what gets me. I said, this little wench should take it like it's a joke. She loves gossip. She has lied on me in that classroom, lied on me to the point that some weeks ago she tried to get me to lose my job. She actually told my assistant principal she wants me out of the classroom because of a negative vibe.
Mercy.
No, the fact of the matter is that there's a friend of mine that, well, we were friends before, whatever, that works with her. She knew to some extent what this woman was doing, but she never spoke up. She's born, like you said, she's born March 12th. Her name is Christy. And Christy is sitting there with this woman, knowing that they're both Caucasians, knowing to some extent that this woman got a grouse against me. She don't say a word to the woman. And then she did some very untoward things towards me. And I found out and I told her straight to her face. I said, you and I will no longer be friends. I can't trust you. Because if you knew this much that this woman was against me, you should have said something. This much. But she knew more than this much. But for some reason, it satisfied her.
Where was her loyalty?
She had a grouse against me.
She had no loyalty to you.
She had, and she'll tell you, I don't repeat, which apparently she doesn't. I don't repeat anything you say. I don't repeat anything that people say. You know, anything you say to me, she'll say, what is it that you said again? She prides herself on not repeating what you tell her. Yeah, but you're sitting there with this woman having a war against me and you're grinning in her face. So what I'm saying is that this friendship has become such a dull thing to me. I'm so disinterested in it now. Like tonight at the graduation festivities, some people are talking to me, and I'm telling you, I don't hear 3/4 of what they're saying because people are so full of doo-doo. People talking to you, and they don't mean what they say, and the judges go zing over my head. I'm saying, Judith, it looked bad. I had no interest because instinctively I knew they were talking trash. So
But you know, I have a superpower too. You know, I have a superpower.
What is that?
I can look you dead in your face, square in your eye, and don't hear a word coming out of your mouth.
I'm sure.
I can tune you out, especially when people start with that yeah, and that I look at you and don't hear a word that you say. I will tune you out.
So let me just jump in here. We're talking about watch the company you keep. We seem to be judging on the friendship side. I know there's a thin line there, but I most see it as being in a certain location, and location don't necessarily mean physically by the junction. But I think location. Say for example, you're on a strip mall and you own one of those buildings, and a franchise that attracts a lot of people has moved into that section, and now the traffic. There's a certain type of traffic coming, but because you're a part of this strip mall, then some of that good traffic comes to you, because now they come there and they see, well, let's say Chick-fil-A, for example. You have Chick-fil-A has long lines where you see them, but because they're in a certain vicinity and it attracts so many people, you know, the other businesses there can get a little benefit from it. So in that case, you're in good company, right? Because some of the good stuff is bouncing over to you.
Not all the time, but I'll get on that later.
But let's say, for example, that the opposite is happening, and that is still bringing some kind of attraction, but it's not the kind of attraction that is really favorable. And now you are part of that mall still, but you know, now it's a different type of thing. So then the company that you're keeping could either benefit you, or it could either be detrimental for where, you know.
Hold on.
Yeah,
we can just talk about personal relationship. Why we have to do strip mall?
No, but hold on, no, that's a very important. That's a very important point he brought up. No, because what came to mind on that, you all remember?
Just
it started one. Hold on, Tommy Hilfiger. Snoop Dogg wore a Tommy Hilfiger shirt on an award show. The black folks looking at that say, "Wow, that looked nice." Everybody ran out and started buying Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy Hilfiger made millions of dollars off of black people. But if you understand our culture, we would pick you up and drop you just like that when the next hot thing comes out. Tommy Hilfiger may have benefited and made a few $1 million in the short term, but in the long term, he lost because his clientele no longer wanted to wear his product, because now that was something that the black people wear. And Tommy Hilfiger stated, "I didn't make my product for black people." People got offended because he benefited because of that traffic that you spoke about in the short term. And he no longer wanted to keep that company because sooner or later we would drop him, and then his elite customer no longer be there. They left. So he had to now push us aside and go back to his people.
Interesting.
He had to watch the company that he kept because we dropped him like a hot plate and moved on to the next hot fashion. And where was he? Out in the cold. And he had to now remove himself from us and go back to his elitist group in order to continue doing business. So that's an important point to make, Sam.
He was calling Calvin Klein.
Listen, let me say something here. I think one of the things, one of the prerequisites about company you keep, you have to know your company. You have to know who you are. You have to, for me, you've had to decide who you are, what works for you, what works with you, what you prefer, what your standards are, or else you'll end up in all sort of company. So I think one of the problems is that black people, we're too schizophrenic with our buying and where we spend our money. We waste our money on foolishness. I have one of my little students, this poor little child can barely walk straight, literally. She got mental health deficits and stuff. And they don't even send snack for her. But she wearing Calvin Klein shoes and all this stuff. And I get so irritated today looking at her with these shoes on. And they have the weave in her hair. And when it's not done and not kept up, it looks real bad. And so I constantly wonder if people know who they are. Now she can't know who she is. She's got so much stuff going on. But in order to decide this is bad company, I must know what kind of company is good for me. And what happened, I think especially in these days, a lot of people don't know who they are. They have no idea what they stand for, what anything. It's just well, this works right now. They don't think it. They don't think that we are saying that, but that's what they're doing. They're transient in their likes and dislikes. And so the thing is that some people don't care what kind of friends they have. They don't care what kind of company they keep because they ain't good company themselves. They ain't good friends themselves. They have nothing to offer. They're on their way somewhere. So this is just a stop along the way. I think in this time, the only people that get truly hurt about bad friendships are the people who know who they are and have made a decision what is good for them in terms of friendships. Those are the people who are hurting now. But the people that just come for the moment, they don't care. They're going to flop in and flop out.
You ever had a friend?
Wise.
You ever had a friend who turned into a frenemy?
Right. Well, that's all right. Yeah, like I said before, I'm kind of mean it, but I don't kind of mean it. Take too much work. Takes too much work.
But I'm saying, you ever had one? Anyone ever had one? You who you consider a friend?
There are about 42 million of them.
Into
all over the place.
Oh goodness! Hopefully not that many.
You see, I think a frenemy is an oxymoron because once you have somebody that you really have to cut off, there's a good chance that they weren't really a friend in the first place.
But they could be a friend in their definition of friendship. That might be all they're capable of in terms of friendship. Sometimes we want things from people that they're not capable of giving. Their definition of friendship, and I know that for a fact, their definition of friendship is not mine. But because I saw some things in them that kind of works with me, and we get along and we laugh about some of the same certain things and we get upset about some of the same things. Oh, that's my friend. But very few people like a friend I had for over 40 years. We're no longer friends. But I always knew she had a struggle with me. She just had a hard time with me. And so what was the hard time? If I accomplished something, it disturbed her. And I held on to her too long because she kept showing me who she was. But then in the last few years of our friendship, she said, every time I got ready to say, listen, man, this got to stop. You know what she said to me? But Judith, we have known each other for 50 years. And I said to her family, I said, that is no blasted qualification. You can know somebody forever. I said, Curtis, I have a friend on Facebook, so I've known him for 42 years. I don't know how deep that friendship is, but the fact of the matter is that everybody views friendship in a different way.
Very much so.
But what about Judith? Sometimes you have. I've been through this, and I know someone right now going through it. They have what she referred to as house enemy. Someone in your space, in your living space, who is working against you, divulging information that goes on within the walls, within the confines of the home, and divulging this information to people on the outside, working against you inside of the same house that they reside. She referred to that person as a house enemy. How do you deal with it? That's on a different level.
The question is this. Why do we, and this includes me, why do we deal with these sorts of people?
It might be a child. If you know
somebody's divulging stuff about something why don't you tell them to get their blouse and skirt out of your way?
It might be a child.
Well, that does happen. So you need to do your backside them. Sorry. You get them one blouse and skirt lick and tell them to sit down someplace. Because there are children who do that. There are children who do that.
Since we're on relationships, let me bring in something else here. I personally don't believe that any one man could be everything for his wife. The lover, the friend, the confidant, the inspiration, the sounding board. Unless his name is Curtis. How do you all respond to jealousy from a mate who doesn't want you to have anyone else in your life, let's say, filling one of those roles? Or any other role. I just called off a few. The friend, the confidant, the inspiration, sounding board. not the lover. That's supposed to be that husband.
Oh, okay.
But when you have a jealous mate who doesn't want anyone in your life filling any of those roles, when he or she of themselves cannot fill every role that you may need as an individual, how do you respond to that kind of jealousy?
That's a very, very good question. How do you respond to it? There's really not much way you could respond to it in our society. If there's certain rules and regulations, some of the rules are unwritten, and I'm not talking about a rule in a rule book, but there's a basic relationship expectation. Again, we're not talking about intimacy. We're just talking about, general. Now, but the person that's closest to you, or the person who you're intimate with, may feel a certain way about the folks around you. But it's really more of a selfish in nature, opposed to, well, these are people you knew for a long time, or, what helps to make you you is your interaction with this core of people that you would depend on, that for some kind of support at some point. But because they are not providing that for you, then it becomes an issue. And now they want you to cut all of that off so they could have you all for themselves. But as you said, they can't provide that, or there's no alternative that they have going on. So now you have to just either you're like them husbands who reading the paper on Sunday morning, or during the week he finding time to read the papers because he really, or maybe the wife is disgruntled and she can't do much, so she reading the papers too. So, or there's some new activity they have to find. Maybe they're drinking. They have to take a drink to make it through this, because now what was naturally there for them to exist isn't there anymore. So these are new things that's coming out of that. But that does exist. That does exist, where someone wants to cut off the other things around because they just believe that they're supposed to be in your face all day and that's who you're supposed to be seeing. And it happens.
Ever had to deal with jealousy, Karin?
Not really. Not that type of jealousy, because I've always felt secure in my relationships, the real ones. Not just the little dating situations, but the real ones that I count. I've always felt very secure. So I don't think anyone really felt like I was dividing my attention between him and somebody else. I've never really got that feedback. So I can't say no yes to that. Sorry, I'm about to sniffly nose here.
If I'm dealing with someone and they're into like having me cut my people off, then that's a red flag. Because that is something, unless there's something negative that they're seeing that they can say, you know what, this is not really a good situation here. That's something else. Because now they're looking out for you. But if it's something that is just a selfish notion that they just need to cut certain situations out from you, and for all kind of reasons, and jealousy is one of them. That's a red flag with that person. And I think Diane made a good point there too, in terms of the ones that you may have some people in your life that just drain your energy. You finish talking to them and you need to go and sleep.
Those are the ones who they always want to have a pity party. They always got to complain about something. Something bad always happening to them. And even when you're offering them solutions, them no business. They don't want to hear that. They want to, it's like, I equate it when I say you have a cut, and every opportunity they get, they open up the cut to show you the cut. They take off the plaster, show you the cut, open it up to show you how deep it is, burst open the stitches, so then that cut remain fresh. And then every opportunity they get to show somebody how badly they've been hurt, they open up that wound and show it. Look, you see, look at that. Look how deep it is. And it never heals. So every time they meet you, they have something to cry and to complain about to tell you how badly they've been hurt back in 1972. Because they're not looking for answers. They're not looking for solutions. They just want to sap you of your energy, lay their burdens on your shoulder every opportunity they get. Those are the people that Dan spoke about. They're like a leech. They just suck your blood, suck your energy. A succubus. That's what they do. Sukuya. Sukuya, we call them. They just suck your energy, drain you every chance they get, because I don't know, somehow they get uplifted from that. And when you walk away, you like, damn, I was about to go out, and it's like, I don't even feel to do anything right now. They just bring you down.
Yeah, they
watch the company you keep.
But you know, one of the things you just said about jealousy and stuff, the fact of the matter is that everybody who's in love with somebody, usually, you want that person all to yourself. You want them to be everything to you. You know,
not all the time though.
Huh?
Not all the time.
And if they share anything that you consider important with another person, they feel there's some disloyalty, you're robbing them of something. And worst of all, they feel, what's wrong with me? Why is it that I can't give you that? Not understanding that we don't have everything to give to everybody. We have enough to give some to some and none to some. And so you have to learn that you can have 10 people in your life, but you should not, in my opinion, have a lover and 2 other lovers. I mean, it's not a good idea.
No, we're not going. Yeah, I understand.
No, listen to me.
It's like you plant a seed. You plant a seed.
Those terms?
You
plant a seed?
Yeah, you plant a seed.
No, about that one.
But hold on, let me show you. Let me give you the picture. You plant a seed.
Show the landscape.
Wait, let me show you. You put it in the ground. Now, I am not the ground, but the seed need the ground. I am not the water, but the seed need the water. I am not the sunshine, but the seed need that. You understand? So that is how people are to look at it. That, okay, you whatever you bringing to the table, you are bringing that, and that's it.
But Mr. Samuel Archer, people do not discuss these things that we're talking about. They don't say, I notice, sweetheart, that you give me this and this and that, but you can't give me that. Is it okay if I have a friend who can give me that? People don't talk that way. So that's why we get into so much trouble, because we assume because we kiss good and we feel up nice and all of that, we assume we're giving the person everything they need. But human beings need a variety, as somebody would say, a variety of different kinds of things. So what the truth is that nobody, unless it's Jesus Christ, nobody can give us everything we need. They can't. We're human beings. We can't. So what you have to also do, in my estimation, if it's a romantic relationship, it's a marital relationship, ask yourself, what can you live? What can you not live? No. What do you need so badly that if you don't have it, you can't live properly, you can't live well? So if you need somebody who is more open to communication than your spouse, if you need it in order to live and to breathe then your other half is going to have to try and figure out either to learn to be a better communicator or allow you to have somebody to communicate with separately. The fear is that once you let somebody else in, especially somebody of the opposite sex, they're going to take over what you have with this other person. That's what it is. It's fear. Men, whether it's men or women, you're afraid that if your wife has a good male friend who they can talk to, soon she's gonna be talking about you and picking you apart. And next thing you know, your marriage in trouble. Same thing with the woman, same the vice versa. So I think what it is that we have to have a certain amount of confidence about ourselves and say, listen, if she needs to talk to him and it makes her feel better, and this is the great part, it makes our relationship better, go talk to him and come back.
Yeah, the same way that you would want some time to yourself, don't you want the same for your partner, husband, whatever, for him to have his buddies go wherever, whatever they do, basketball, whatever sport that they do, to have some time to themselves and with their friends. I mean,
Karen, I
that is
agree.
so healthy.
Karen,
and I
I
want
agree
my
with
own
you.
time to go shopping, to go to the beach, to whatever.
Karen, I agree with you, but here's where I have issues with that. Sometimes you have a mate, a girlfriend. This is throughout life. All we here, we up there already, right? Somewhere throughout life. Let me talk to you, Sam. You might deal with a girl, and she quick to tell you, you see Patrice over there? Patrice is a hoe. Patrice this, Patrice that, Patrice this, Patrice that. But you and Patrice best friend. I kind of wonder, how is it you telling me that Patrice, Marcia, and Doreen is hoes, and all four of you all hang out together, but you're not a hoe? Something about this troubles me. The very same way with they talk about all their friends, and each and every one of them is hoes, and that's your three best friend.
She's trying to stop them being hoes.
Oh, and she stopped.
No, I think
when you now want to go out in the company of these people, I have a problem because of the picture that you painted of these individuals. Because now it puzzles me. They say birds of a feather flock together. And here you are, a company of four, a flock of four. And you telling me three are hoes, but you're not. I have a problem with that. When you tell me you want to go hang with them.
Yeah, that's not a good thing at all. That's not a good thing at all.
Do you think they're trying to? Do you think they're trying to step their game up by making the others look bad so that you could kind of focus on them?
Yeah, you focus on them, take the attention off of themselves. So when you want to go and hang with that company that you put down all the time, I have a problem with that.
But you see, she might be thinking, well, if I tell him that they're that, he won't want them. Because, we all, our brains trick us sometimes into thinking foolishness.
Sometimes that's what we need.
So she may be trying to do some prevention, Let me just tell them what hole they are, so he'll never go to them. But you see, she don't expect you to ask the question that you ask. She don't expect that. She just wants you to focus on, oh, God, you're awesome. Well, I wouldn't be interested in them. That's what she might be trying to prevent.
But you all ever meet, where is it, the workplace or somebody who might be interested in you, and they just seem to have bad intentions?
No.
No, the question, what kind of yardstick you use to measure, to find out if a friend or acquaintance, whatever it is, have good or bad intentions? What do you use to measure that?
They call them Gwen. You mean them for?
What do you use to measure?
It takes
you just talk to the person for a few minutes and ask some key questions. What do you mean?
It takes a little bit of time,
Watch people.
Watch and listen.
Watch them how they treat other people.
Oh, yes.
Watch how they treat other people.
I watch people at work, in my personal life. How do you talk to your ex? I once heard speak to his I don't think they were divorced yet, on the phone, and I was in the vehicle with him, and I'm thinking, oh wow, the nastiest language you could ever think of. The nastiest words. I thought, this is diagnostic of any future that we would have together. Forget it. Believe me, made my decisions right then and there. Unbelievable.
And something.
How do you treat your mom? What type of relationship do you have with your sisters, especially the females in your life? Not just.
But something, Karen. What you're saying, I agree with, and it's true in many cases. But you know what I've found? That we're such strange creatures, human beings. There are men who do exactly what you're saying there, and the next woman, he treats her like a queen.
That's because she won't tolerate the crap that he gives.
Okay. And she in turn might beat him up. Maybe physically and emotionally.
Time drop the time the fool and can't pull the same stunt with every woman.
Right. And you see the same man, you say, but what are you talking about? It meets a match. So the thing is that some people, I was thinking about this the other day. It's amazing how some a man might be married and he's a nasty person, horrible to his wife. And every day when I say these things, it can mean the opposite. It can mean the woman. And he's nasty to his wife and unkind and vicious. And he meets the person that he really wants to be with and really cares for. And this man becomes, for lack of a better term at this moment, a pussycat. You can't get him. I mean, he's soft with her.
Go to the next statement, Sam.
Who was nasty with one person.
You see what they said, Judith?
Monkey know which tree to climb.
Monkey know what tree to climb. In your country, they said Duppy know who frightened.
Right.
Duppy know who frightened, yes.
Yeah.
But before we run away, I want to just say this. I've been to corporate. Yeah, I know. But I've been to corporate situations where you get a job where it's like a temp. I did a lot of temp in New York, back in the days. What I had to learn is that I am to either push some papers or stamp some papers or press some keys so I could get a check by the end of the week.
You knew your role.
Some people don't understand that. Some people go to a job, they want to be everybody's friend, they want to be nice, and the thing, and the da. No, you come there to push some papers, or stamp some papers, or press some keys, so you can get a check to go home. That is it. I had to learn that.
Let me share what happened to me.
Go ahead.
Last week, this woman, 2 women I work with, this teacher, the same one that asked them to fire me. Give it every chance she gets. She talking about me to somebody negatively. And while in my face, Miss Judith, and I was to her, lady. But anyway, she's talking to me. Something was said last week, one day, Friday, and she said something so asinine and foolish. And I was like, I'm so tired of this woman and this nonsense. But I have to hold my tongue because what she wants me to do, she wants me to go off on her. So she can say, see, I told you she's not a Christian. I told you. I don't go off on people. I would rather you buy the rope for yourself and hang yourself. I don't want my fingerprints on a rope that you used to kill yourself. And I'm very serious about that. So I have the personality where I can wait. Do what you got to do. But I'm not going to come at you because that's exactly what you're looking for. As we are talking, this mad woman said to me, this woman said that to me, and me mad in a different way. She tell me, I'm just trying to make you happy. And like you just said, Sam, I turned around and I said, make me happy? She said to me, because you don't seem to be happy. I said, who are you talking to? I said, you can't make me happy. I said, I am okay. Why do you think that I am unhappy? And how can you make me happy? I would do anything for you. I was like, you're not a man. What is wrong? What do you mean you do anything for me? From you? But she has put herself, and what I come to realize, she has zero self-esteem. She doesn't even know who she is. So what happens is she's the woman in charge in the room, but I run the room. So she's intimidated. She has very poor, just minor skills in terms of organization and whatever. So I basically run the room. And that's what our problem is. But I say that to say this. People are confused. I said, let me explain this to you. I come here to work. Like you just said. The two of them in there are always remembering when payday is. I said, well, how come I don't remember when payday is? You know why? Because I go to work. And because I work, I'm going to get paid.
That's
right.
right.
I'm not getting paid. Because it's automatic that I put in the time and the money goes into my account. But these people are working every day and friendship. And I said, even though I said, you're my friend, we are friends or whatever, understand something. My priority is to work.
Because I get that paycheck.
That's what I come here for.
I've seen you throw jobs away for that nonsense.
Yeah, but you brought up something just now. As Sam talk about this friend, people confuse co-workers once again with friends and friendships. They take all their business and they let it loose on the job site. And you know, unfortunately, so many people in this day and age, we living in this virtual world, caught up in the matrix, believing that this social media is real. We spend so much time in a space where, like Sam said before, you're meeting someone's representative. You're on a platform like Facebook where you have 323 friends. But let your car break down at 3:23 in the morning and see how many of them willing to come out and help you.
324.
See how many of them really willing to come out, get up out of their bed and come outside and help you. Anybody ever, I don't think it's you all, I won't accuse you all of this, but you ever met somebody on social media who, I don't know, they sort of think they were deceiving you, or I don't know, they get caught up in the matrix, in the real world, like all of this is real, the friendships,
I run into that with the scammers. So they would copy an account of somebody that I know and try to talk to me as if it's a friend of mine's talking to me.
Okay.
You know? And then but there's ways I can check to know if this is if it's the actual person. But at one point they used to be able to block you from seeing the other account that they would copy. Some of that, but I think that they kind of fixed that now. So when you could see that, okay, this is your friend's account, they have the same picture, the same everything, you know, the same wall, the same, sometimes even the same post on the thing, but then it will, the thing will tell you, okay, this is your friend or what have you. And so now they're talking to you as if they know you because they want you to do some form of action, either go to some site or join a group or whatever it is that they need you to do.
It usually involves Cash App or Zelle.
Yeah.
That right. It may come to that eventually too. So then I would say, hey, you know, I would try to find something to see if this is really the person, right? I say, yeah, we were talking yesterday and the phone cut off. What it was what he was trying to say.
They go.
Next thing you see, no response. But people I know, very rare, very, very rare. I don't even think I ever ran into anything where it's somebody that I knew that, okay, they were trying to do a thing, and you know, I know it exists, but I personally didn't run into anyone that I personally knew that tried something, you know, kind of left on the thing.
One of my teacher co-worker at school, about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I heard this. I went on my phone on Facebook, and there was a message from her, and she said, would you send me $20, and by the end of the day I'll give you 25. I'll give you 5 on it. So the person that supposedly was sending the message, who was not the person sending, the person who, whatever you call, they mess with their account, they hack them or whatever. The person that I know, the name Shackleton, when I looked at it, I said, that ain't Shackleton. Shackleton wouldn't ask nobody for no money. It was a joke. Shackleton have too much pride. So I answered, no, I just passed the lady in the coffee shop in the school, you know. So I'm thinking right away, so why should I just come and ask me? So then I write and said, this is not Tana Shackleton. Go away. So the person right back, what? What do you mean? I said, what do you mean? What did I mean? I said, Tana Shackleton wouldn't be asking me for no money. Oh, no, I'm out. I'm out and I'm buying some things and I ran out of cash. And I said, that is not Tana Shackleton. She would not ask me for any money. Do you know how many people that sent money? Thank God Tana found out and blocked it. You know, people sent money, including the idiot that I work with that wants to make me happy. Send this woman money. You know what I said to them? She said, but I thought it was real. I said, do you know Tina? Does Tina look to you like she'll borrow $20 from you? Plus, we're on the job. Why wouldn't she just come to the classroom and say, listen, can you lend me $20? Why would she promise to pay you $5 more on it later? I'm saying that to say what you said, Curtis, and then what Sam answered. The problem is we are in all this communication, and Karen always emphasizing communication. The problem is that we're not communicating. We're making a lot of noise. But if you know Tina, if I that woman I'm talking about, she is not going to ask you. She'll go to a bank and beg them $5. She's not going to ask you. When I went to her later on, or the next day, because she had to leave, some of our mother's older friends were sending money to this person.
Wow.
When I went to the classroom, you know what I said to her? I said, Tina, you wouldn't ask me. Her husband owns a business. I don't care how flourishing or not flourishing. She would go to her husband. So I said to her, you know what I said to her? I said, I guess I said, I don't understand it, but I don't get the impression you would do that. You know, she said to me, with all my pride. then she said afterward, I said, well, I guess I don't care because all these people sent money. She said, yes, you don't care for me. They sent it and you didn't send. I said, because I knew it wasn't you. So like a black boy in Florida, take our money and buy Gucci bag of Gucci shoes and some foolishness. I'm saying all of that to say this.
Oh, they found him?
Yes. That was
a good one, but
let me tell you why I mention it here is that friendships, whatever associations we have, if you don't know people, you can, because I would not fall for that. If I get something that said Curtis asking me for $20, I would not believe it. In all the years I've known Curtis has never begged me for money. No, sorry, but Curtis would not ask me for money. He never has, and his character, like I told my teacher.
Wait, he never has money, or he never has?
No, never
asked that for me, please.
For money. But okay. I also said to her, I pay attention to people's character. There's certain things that certain people will not do. So she was like, but I just thought if she needed it and I had it. I said, you don't listen, do you? Tina Shackleton wouldn't ask you for money. But so what I'm saying in essence, we've got to learn each other. We've got to learn. That's sometimes how loyalty comes about. In other words, if somebody tell you, you know that Karen went down to Broad Boulevard and go to the meat store and ask the man for a pound of ground beef. First of all, she don't eat those things. So if somebody tell me, say, no, you're not.
No.
She makes some vegetables, but she don't eat. So you
have snapper, but not ground beef.
No, you have to know people and say, no. So that's the whole thing. Is that I think friendship is that you should know each other. You should have a knowledge of what the person would do and wouldn't do, what they would say and they wouldn't say. Not that you have a perfect relationship, but you have a pretty good. I would love to have a friendship like that. No, I can say this. I know a lot about people around me, but I have been told recently that the people around me don't want to be close to me because I can look right through them. Okay, I am sorry. I can't change my eyes. It's not my physical eyes that's the problem. It's the other eyes. It's the vision that I have. So the thing is that I would rather have 10 of me around, and I say this sincerely, than one of some of the people that claim they're friends with me. Because first, they lie to you. Your dress look wrong, and they tell you it's okay. If you wear makeup, it's blotch on them. Say, no, man, you look good, man. No, man, everything nice. If I can't trust you, I don't want you around me. Karen wants to say something.
No, I was just thinking that after you've lived a couple of decades on this plane, if you have one or two people that you know are your true core friends, you don't need anybody else to know. As far as friends, I have acquaintances.
Yeah.
But I have no friends here in Florida this time. I mean, I shouldn't say in Florida. There's one up in Tampa. But I I don't need you to be my friend. We can hang, we can go out or whatever, but I don't need, I feel like
Your friends are a very short list.
yeah, like three people
Very
that I know, I can call at that 3 something in the morning and say, I'm stranded here. I know I would do that for that person and that person would do it for me. But for the people who, say one thing and do something completely separate, you're not a friend. And that's all right. That's all right.
But going back, I just wanted to share one little story with that Sam, a mutual friend of ours. Let me just call her first name, Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Same situation came over social media that she and her husband were stuck, I think in Istanbul or somewhere. They got robbed and lost their purses and wallets and passport, and they're at the embassy, and one long Crimea River story. Mm-hmm. And they needed some money, and she decided to reach out to me, since she knew me for all this time, to send her some money, and she'll straighten it out when she get back. But of course, you smell a rat, and I knew something was wrong with this. So I text back on the Facebook thing, and I said, on the street that you grew up, there was a school. Was it Hilltop, Hillcrest, or was it Hilltop, Hillcrest, or Hillside? No response. So I said, Slinger blank is the mighty blank.
Arrow.
You could answer that, right, sir?
Of course.
No response. And I had quite a few other questions like this. This person just faded into oblivion. And then the real person responded and said that I'm glad you didn't get caught with that. But by the way, the name of the school is, and she gave me the proper name, which was not one of those that I mentioned. So I left out the real one out of the choices. And someone down there answered, Slinger Francisco is the mighty sparrow. So if you're not from Trinidad or Grenada, you may not be able to answer that question, period. So they had issues with that. So that's how I flush out the phony people, or bring them out to the woodwork, like you said, bringing up situations where conversations or whatnot. But somebody spoke a minute ago about speaking to people. Now let's talk about friends here, right? Not the would-be friends, the supposed, the wanna-be friends. Do any of you worry how your friend will react if you correct them? Or you just do it because you consider yourself a true friend? If you just do it regardless of how they feel, what they want to think, you just pull their coat and tell them, hey, what you're doing ain't right. What you said, such and such, that wasn't kosher. Do you all worry about this, or you just...
No, you pull it.
I don't worry about it.
Because you all already have a rapport.
Right.
So when them come in at... Like, there's certain people who would come at me a certain way because we go way back. So it's already... There's, it's not like they just walk off the street and trying a thing. That might get, you might get punched. But I'm just saying, certain people who are not level with you would be like, yo, Sam, that was real. Yeah, that was kind of tacky right there. Like a friend will let you know right away. They're not really sugarcoating nothing for you.
But would you sugarcoat it, concerned about their feelings, or would you let them?
No. Not my friend on them. So,
well, that question wasn't for Judith. I don't know how she does. I don't know.
People are willing to test someone that they would consider as a future girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, but they're not willing to test future friends. You have to test your relationships.
And they
you
should
have to ask certain questions and certain conditions. If you're always showing up for that person's event or children's party or whatever the situation, and you realize that this is not being returned, then you have to be like,
That's my next. That's
the problem, people.
That's my next question.
I test.
I
test because I'm not afraid to test, and I'm not afraid to tell if it's a real friend. I'm not afraid to tell them. And if they come back at me sideways, come back at me. Friendship should always be tested, as long as there's hey, I respect you, and say what you're saying. When we're done, we're done. Go back.
How about you, Sam?
I made those mistakes though. I never tested friends.
Oh, I test them all the time. I test them all the time.
They beat the crap out.
No, but you may not test them on a conscious level.
I do.
No, I never did.
But I was about to ask this. If anybody ever had someone who you always go out of your way for, but when it came time for them to reciprocate, they always too busy. Whenever
talks about her 40 plus year friendship that she just kept stretching out. I had an 18-year best friend, and when I needed her at the most critical time in my life, she was still asking me to come to her to help her. I was like, okay, bye. So, I'm serious. I'm very serious. I'm very serious about that.
That has happened.
There has to be reciprocity. Most stuff like that.
They're not in it. That's a little different thing. They're not really.
I'm talking about years of service to her.
Not in a category of what I would have. So like I would meet, if it's somebody new, everyone I meet new, they get a new page. It's a clean page, and then over time we will see.
Where I say,
if you feel the vibe. So there are people that you'd meet later on, and as you rapport with them, so it's at a certain level. It's at a certain level. So it's not like all the way up here, but because it's at a certain level, you can work with it.
But you don't have to walk on eggshells about it. You can really test certain things. I'm not talking about going hardcore. I'm just saying you test certain responses. You test whether they're willing to be there in certain situations where you need them. And if you're getting constant excuses, that's diagnostic of what the future holds.
I said diagnostic.
I'm sorry.
Here's the other part of that, right? Personally, over the course of my life, I met quite a few people. Their favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And like I say, whenever you converse with this person or you meet them and you're catching up, somehow the conversation is always centered around them.
Mm-hmm. As if you have nothing going on.
Yeah,
you can never be in pain. You can never be stressed out about
they always one up you. You say, boy, listen, man, what happened last week? I fell and I was walking and I slipped and I twisted my ankle. Boy, let me tell you this, boy, last I break my foot. Wait a minute.
I fell out that tree.
I'm telling you, they even let you finish. I twist my ankle, they tell you they break the foot. The other day, something I bounced in somebody and they wanted to fight. Well, I get stabbed. And they just one up you with their stories, and it's just the conversation just somehow have to circulate around them. They have to be the center of attention all the time. And you say, I was walking down Flatbush Avenue and a bullet swing by my head, so I missed. They say, but I did. They killed somebody.
Into a dead man like I am.
Hear them. You lucky me dead.
Yo.
The teacher that I work with, that's exactly what the problem is. She have to one-up me. Everything. And even I make jokes with the students. The woman repeat the same striking jokes with the children the same words that I use. No, there's nothing wrong with that, essentially, But since you're always fighting me, and yet you're repeating, then I have to realize now that you have a little competition going with me.
There's a little bit of envy. Maybe a lot of envy.
Listen, listen, Curtis, listen, seriously. These children don't speak, right? I have been given a gift to relate to from any country. I mean, anybody I meet. Because, like sometimes in the supermarket, I say to somebody, because I love to meet people from different places. And this lady says she's from, I can't remember the name of the place, but it's a name I can't say it easily. It's in Africa. And I said, "You from Africa?" Listen, I got so excited. I said, "Judith, calm down, calm down." I just said to myself, I said, "What language do you speak?" And we're talking. And you know, she said to me at the end, she said, "Thank you. Thank you for talking to me." Like she said, "Thank you for showing so much interest in me." That's why I am. So with the children, they'll sit there and they're not talking, you know, but they want to be identified. Because what I realize is that these people treat these children like their diagnosis. I treat them as human beings. So several of them, one she named KK, and she said, "Down, Sarah." So hear me. I see you. You think I don't see you? What you say? Say it again. Say it again. No, she doesn't say nothing, you know. She busts out a laugh. And then I bring another one in. So on the average, there's 7 of them. By the time I get through, everybody in the room is talking. None of these children verbally talking. But I get them communicating because I identify them by name. And if I know them like something, I play music. Sometimes I take the wheelchair and I dance with them. And I sing to them. And they try to sing along. So what it is that I make them feel important as one person, but then I make sure that everybody, including the teachers, I include them. I said to the child, "Can you say Miss Amy?" Doesn't say Madam, right? I said, "Can you say Miss Amy?" And they go, "Meh." She feels good that they try to call her name. So how I work and how I live is that I include everybody. She doesn't know how to do that. When she starts, it's really about Amy. And then she tried to do the thing that I do. And the reality is this. If you know who you are, you don't have to do what I do.
You don't have to
do something else. And then they will know you differently. Because otherwise, all you're doing is just you're mimicking me. So it's like the children know me twice over because you're saying the same words to me. I walk in the room and they start screaming as soon as I walk in. Not because they don't want me there. They're excited to see me. But I'm saying, like you said, Envy, the thing is to recognize what you have in you. And again, it goes back. How do you become a friend? What's the title of what you said earlier? What is it? What's the title of what you said earlier, Curtis?
Watch the company you keep.
The company you keep. That is something that I'm extremely careful about. And I get in trouble for it. Like, like the people think I'm trying to be, oh, she's so. No. Because you said it, I found out once there's a group of women, we were all having lunch together. I used to work in the prison in South Florida. And I said to them, "Man, you're from that country, you're from that country, you're from that island. Let's start bringing lunch from your country." And we have lunch and we share it. We start doing it. One day they started gossiping. I mean, I like gossip. And they started, and I heard me, Judith and Barnes say, "What? Who's that? Who's that?" Shame. Listen to me. That was the first and last lunch we had. And I told them honestly, I said, "Ladies, I can't hang with you." Because I would be, and you see how quick it happened? I am so against that thing. And
how do you all do that? How do you all excuse yourself from situations or conversation like this?
You know what I said to them? I have a certain expectation of myself. I said, what I just did, I can't do it again. And if I hang around, I'm going to do it again. And that was it.
What's your method, Sam?
Are we talking about in a work environment or
anywhere? I told you all about mine already, right? I told. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I would make up a whole conversation. No, boss. No, you said 20. I said 40. Remember? We bet $40 on the Mayweather fight. You owe me my money. I ain't right. And I begin to distance. Do not come to me with any kind of foolishness. I will not entertain you for very long. I will not entertain you. Yeah. One of the worst situations I ever encountered was a guy coming to me and telling me something about somebody else's sexuality. And I say, "How you know that?" Yeah. Well, he do so and he peeped through the bedroom window and say, "What?
What?
What does that make you? What does that make you telling me you peep through somebody's bedroom window and you see them do such and such and such? Brethren, come out of my face. I don't want to hear nothing about that. And I don't want to hear nothing from you from now on, because what does that say about your personality, your character, as to who you are as a person, peeping through somebody's bedroom window and then want to come and tell me about that person's transgressions? Me don't want to hear it. That's the lowest point of hypocrisy to me. So I'm telling you, I have very low, extremely low tolerance for foolishness. Long time I might have stood there and now clip and nip it. No. Gotta go. I ain't got time for that foolishness. How you say you deal with it, Karen?
I'll exit the room. I'll leave whatever the area without any excuses, because I don't like lying. So I'll just leave. Hey, I gotta go.
Just walk away.
I just walk away, and I won't allow myself to get into that group or with that person again.
Okay, so as we conclude here, like you said, the title of the show was "Watch the Company You Keep." Give me your pearl of wisdom in case somebody tune into this late. Sum it all up. Let me hear your true feelings and talk to somebody who might really need to understand how to handle situations and some of the pitfalls and what they should and shouldn't do in situations like this. Karen, you take us home.
As Dr. Judith says quite eloquently, know yourself. When I was in my teens, I remember knowing what I wanted for my future profession. I was really on a path, being guided by counselors and so forth. And started, I guess, I was lonely or something, and started hanging with some girls, and they went to a building and hanging out smoking. And I'm like, nope, this is not for me. First and last. But I don't hang with drinkers per se. I don't hang with smokers or people who use other drugs. I just made a decision way back. This is not what I want. I don't want it to spoil something I'm going for, or when I became a professional, I didn't want to do something that would endanger my license because I worked for it. So certain things have always been important to me, and it's not putting a halo over my head. I just know what I like and I know what I don't like. So I don't do certain things. And as I said before, test your relationships, all your relationships, not just the romantic ones or the ones that you're going to have a sexual contact with. Test all your relationships. Test the acquaintances. What are you all about? Are you just about the fluff stuff, the superficial stuff? If we're just hanging out and shopping, fine. But if we're going to go further and have a real solid thing going on, test your relationships. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to be honest about certain things? If you're cagey, guarded, secretive, you're not my person. We can talk on some other, hi, how are you doing? That's about it. And I'm good with that. A few good friends, real good friends, that's enough for me. That's enough. That's a rich life for me. Test your friendships and weed out the people who don't mean you well. That's it.
To piggyback off what you said, I have an 8-year-old son, and he said this maybe 3 years ago when he looked at his brothers and he said, that's not for me. At the age of 5, he looked at his brothers in a particular scenario and he said, no, I'm good. That's not for me.
Wow.
Meaning him not follow idle company. He don't care if you want to do it. He realized at that point in time, this don't feel right. And he stood his ground. Sorry, that's not for me. Judith, give us your closing remarks, please. 2 hours.
I think I will go with what Karin said. I agree with her 150%. And so I'll go with what she said.
I'll give you 2 hours.
She covered it well. I have no need. Seriously, I mean, she said, know who you are, set standards, decide you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. And it's a lonely way to live, I can tell you that. But I don't have a lot of friends, but I'm quite content. I am quite content. Because like Karen said, I don't have people that, listen, I bought some Bailey's Irish cream the other day. I don't drink. I had a quarter of a glass. And I was out in no time. I woke up a little confused. But I am not going anywhere with anybody to drink anything.
All right.
I've never smoked. I've never used drugs. I mean, it's just things that, and even at work, one of the reasons why they pick at me so much is because I am so determined to be me. And I know that I can be me without 200 people. I know I can be me without other people's approval. As long as I make sure I'm respectful to other people, I don't put anybody down. I'm not trying to look down at anybody. But if what you do suits you, keep on doing it. Keep on doing what you're doing, Sammy. But you can't do it. So that's it. Is that short enough for you or is too long?
Yeah, that was very good.
Mr. Archer.
So we may have to start a section called "What is Sam snacking on tonight?" Tonight I'm snacking on mango strips that has been preserved. And they're very good roughage to keep things moving in the right direction.
Keep things moving.
In the right direction.
In the right direction.
Yes, we're not packing anything back.
Oh! Oh!
Yes, so keeping the company, watching the company you keep is very, very important. Very, very important, very key. Yes, Denise, really. Yes. Oh Lord. People saying oh Lord. But let me show you how important this is. I had two mutual friends. One is serving time. And the other one, we all know each other, and I reached out to the other one and say, so and so reach out to me and they wouldn't mind hearing from you. However, this other friend is in law enforcement. And we're all in the States. And he said, I wouldn't mind reaching out to him, but because of the job I have, they're screening everybody. And if I have to call this person that's doing time right now, it ain't gonna look good on my record. That is how serious this thing is. So that sort of just puts it puts really strong meaning to watch the company you keep. It doesn't mean that you hate the person. You don't mean that you don't. Sometimes you just have to just be really careful as to what you get tangled with. We all get tangled with stuff every day. What you get tangled with, just be careful what it is. Because you might be walking down 10 years down the road and that could pull in your back because of a phone call or because you signed a visitation book. And, now you can't predict what's going to mess with you, but the ones you could control, do your best to control them. And by the way, I have coffee as well. But Curtis,
Mr. Henry, I don't want to, but I would like to share this with you before you say what you have to say, because it fits in what you're saying on a higher level. Now that Sam said that. My youngest brother, Chris, you met him. He's been an attorney for over 30 years. And he works mostly on government contracts. Now, I'm not saying anything here that I can't say, and what I'm saying is generic enough. So every few years, because of what he does, his siblings have to turn in their social security number and different things to be checked on us, so we can be checked on. That we are not a risk and we're not a problem to mess with his stuff. So normally they don't call you, they get information from him and however they check it. They called the other day, I'm one of the people, one of his siblings that they called. Now this was hilarious to me. And the lady says to me, when is it that you first met him? I started laughing. I said to her, so I said, oh my God, Judith, I'm in trouble. They put Chris in trouble because I started laughing. She said, no, it's okay. I said, when did I first meet him? I said, I assume on December 3rd, 1962, when he was born. And it's a trick question. Because what they're really trying to find out is, do you really know him? Are you really his sister? So there's so much that we have to be very careful of.
That's
something that we keep. And he said to me, he called me, he said, I'm so sick of these blows. Anyway, he said, them going on like you're bringing a legal party.
Yeah.
But it's the company you keep, even though we're siblings. It's the company we keep. And that's on a larger level, but it's a serious thing. And I would hate to know that I have done something that would jeopardize him. Because in a sense, we are accountable to each other. So I understand what you're saying, Sam. That's why I shared that. Sorry, Mr. Curtis said.
All right, important, man. Somebody's helped tonight.
As we conclude, once again, I'd like to thank those who tuned in the chat, Miss Carol Knight, Trinigel Fly, Denise Williams, Lucy O'Brien, and Diane Roxanne Martin. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Thank you all for joining the conversation and always being a part of the chat. I urge those of you within the sound of my voice, subscribe to the channel. Go on YouTube, hit that little red thing that says subscribe. Click on that. Play the video. Give us a thumbs up. This will help the show to grow and gain the much needed support. Pass on the link to someone who you think can benefit from the information that we imparted tonight. Maybe you know somebody who need to check a few friends or check themselves as to the people that they associate with. Pass the show on, pass the information on to them so that someone else can benefit from the show as well. Like Judith agreed with Karen, I have to agree with something that Sam said. I am not saying that we should eliminate everyone that we don't agree with from our lives. No. But what we should do is limit association. Speaking about the company that you keep, use that word company and treat your life and your existence like a company. Learn to hire and fire people from your life. Fire them if their character or their conduct isn't aligned with yours, or if it can have adverse effects on your peace of mind, and worse yet, on your life. Learn how to hire and fire people. Learn how to let go of friends who exhibit jealousy instead of joy when you accomplish something. That is not a friend. I said the word before, that's a frenemy. Understand that these people, they're not really jealous of your success, They're just angry that you moving ahead while they're still standing still. They're angry at their own inadequacies. And that is what shows up as jealousy sometimes in relationships. Because you moving, they're standing still. For encouragement, I encourage you to be around people who raise your vibration. People who encourage and inspire you. People who make you want to be a better person. People who make you laugh. People who lift up your spirit. This is Curtis Henry.
Bless.
Peace and blessings.
Hi, I'm Dr. Judith Barnes. I'm an author, a playwright, poet. I'm also a broadcaster by training, and I recently found out about 2 years ago that I can paint paintings, which means I paint sceneries, I paint landscape, I paint animals. I have just discovered, and so that I can do this. And so along with all the other gifts and talents that I've been blessed with, I have paintings, and they are on view and for sale on Etsy and also on Facebook. And if you desire to order any painting or order one of my books, because I'm also an author, please give me a call at 470-564-8267. That's Dr. Judith, and the number again, whether you want to just talk to me or order one of my paintings or one of my books, please feel free to call 470-564-8267. Thank you.
Hello there and welcome. My name is Curtis Henry. Over the past few weeks, as we were putting the final pieces together to get the show on the road, some people asked, why do you need to showcase Caribbean people? Why Caribbean Chat? And I say, why not? Because we as Caribbean people have worked too hard, come too far, and suffered too long for us to continue taking a backseat. It's time for us to rise up, speak out, and show the world the value and the richness of our culture. So I'm providing a platform to showcase the history and culture of Caribbean people in entertainment, the arts, politics, sports, and economics. We will explore the many profound contributions they have made to society. So we invite you to stay with us as we launch what is to become one of the greatest voices of Caribbean people, for Caribbean people, by Caribbean people. On this platform, Caribbean people of excellence get to tell their story. Our aim is to ensure that your contributions are acknowledged and celebrated. Welcome to Caribbean Chat. So make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We are Caribbean Chat.